Well, hello Nervos Land, Rodrigo Santiago here. Let's go for our eighth blockchain killer. So this is for entertainment purposes only, it's not financial advice. You should do your own research and verify what I'm seeing here. My name is Rodrigo Santiago, I'm an IT tech lead in Brazil and a proud CKB holder. And this is actually my random thoughts on why Nervos CKB token. Yeah, and as a Brazilian, English is not my native language, so forgive me for any mistakes, written or spoken, right? This presentation might help you to identify key points to be analyzed in any of your blockchain investments, and we encourage you to question our content and correct me if I'm wrong. Basically, that's it. So for this video, in the former videos, we've gone through 7 blockchain killers and we've solved them with the Nervos blockchain. And this here is actually the last one from our series. If you haven't gone through the other videos, I highly recommend you. People are enjoying that a lot, even if they are long, and these are actually long conversations, because to explain Nervos network, we have to have long conversations. So Nervos is very complex and highly valuable, so it's not simple to explain it. The best investments in your life will be simple to understand after you actually understand the whole complexity. So let's talk about the bad developer experience we're having in the world of blockchains today. So what are bad developers and user experiences also? We've talked a little bit about the bad user experiences in other videos. Right now, I'm really focused on bad developer experience, and I'm going to just talk a little bit about the bad user experiences also. So is the blockchain features on mainnet? In many blockchains today, people are buying tokens that are not in mainnet. Be careful, or people are buying tokens because they are too cheap and they are not actually auditing the developer's activity. So yeah, is the blockchain features on mainnet? There are expensive tokens out there which are not in mainnet already. So can developers learn how to program quickly? This is another thing that we should be asking when we are choosing a blockchain investment. So is the programming model secure? This is very important. We've talked about that in other videos. You should just go through them because I've kind of expanded on that subject. But we are going to add some more thoughts here on that. Is the programming model secure? And is the programming models flexible enough? Because new things could appear in the blockchain world, and you don't want to see your investment not being able to cope with new stuff in the market. So let's go for the good news is that most blockchains are pretty good at giving good tools for the developers. So Ethereum was the first one who actually brought the idea of smart contracts. So they've provided Ethereum virtual machine, which is kind of the interpretation layer for the Solidity language. So there's a Solidity programming language that developers can learn if they want to provide programs for the Ethereum virtual machine, which lives on the Ethereum network. And what we can do with that, it's things like Uniswap. So Uniswap is an autonomous decentralized exchange that lives on top of Ethereum network. No government can shut it down. So it's amazing. We've got MakerDAO and all kinds of different assets and designs and architectures that were allowed by these smart contract models from the Ethereum network. So Vitalik was really visionary on that. This guy killed it when he launched the Ethereum network. And this model, it's not private property of the Ethereum community, and all the blockchains started to bring those features to those blockchains. So we've had Solidity, which is based on JavaScript language and Python, so it's pretty easy to learn, and it's the most popular one. When a developer wants to program for to do smart contracts development, it actually usually will go to the Solidity and start from that, which is kind of awesome because it's easy. So here we have another thing that separates the two most used models in the blockchain space today, which is the UTXO model and the account model for Ethereum. So UTXO model is the basic model for Bitcoin network. So it's very secure because each user has like the small wallets, and those are the unspent Bitcoins. So Bitcoin provides a decentralized wallet model in which a user can have one or more like sub-wallets with the unspent Bitcoins. And as time goes by and the transactions are processed, those unspent Bitcoins wallets are like deleted from the network, giving birth to new unspent wallets addresses. So this is like the UTXO model. It's a graph, so things are all over scattered in the Bitcoin state storage. So in Ethereum, we had the account model, which says that each smart contract will have like a balance sheet, and it will say user A have X amount of the token from this smart contract. User B will have Y amount, and so on and so forth. So the main difference here is the account model is a little bit easier to, it's actually much easier to program to. So it's much easier to program in the account model than in the UTXO model, but the account model centralizes all finance. I've talked a little bit about those in former videos. If a hacker has to steal people's money in the account model, it just has to, that hacker has to find one hole in the smart contract, and everybody's in danger. In the Bitcoin model, we should have a hacker finding everybody's private key so that he will be able to steal everybody's assets. It's much more difficult for a hacker to steal everybody's Bitcoin than it is for a hacker to steal everybody's asset on Ethereum. And this is why we've got so many DeFi hacks in this year and last year, because the account model centralizes the finance. And just as a quick intro, Nervos Network decided to use their smart contract philosophy, but with the unspent transactions output model of Bitcoin network. So it decentralizes everybody's assets. You could have, for example, you could have a small cell. It's called the cell model in the Nervos blockchain. could have a small cell with a balance of your, let's say, USDTs, your tethers, for example. You could have like 10 different coins. All of those would be each token would have its own cell. And if you participate on a DeFi contract, you will actually get some of those cells, some of those tokens in one cell, and create a new cell that belongs to you. It belongs to you, the cell. It's not centralized as in the account model. When you stake some, let's say some CKB in Nervos DAO, which is the first smart contract in the Nervos blockchain, you'll be creating a separate cell for participating on the Nervos DAO smart contract. So the cell belongs to you. It's held onto your private keys. So we have a decentralized smart contract experience. In Nervos network, this is very, very important. When somebody goes into a DeFi smart contract, if it uses Nervos native programming design, that person will keep the tokens under their private key. So it's very cool because we've got smart contracts, which are the great innovation from Ethereum, but we've got a decentralized security experience, and everybody holds their assets under their own private keys. It's very smart, very, very smart. So this is a blend of both models that Nervos could actually bring. The UTXO model is also used in Cardano, and I guess there are other blockchains which are using the UTXO model. Most of the blockchains decided for the account model, which is the easier one, but it's also the most risky one, the riskier one. So here is an example of smart contracts development platform for Bitcoin, which is called Stacks. I don't know anything about it really. I'm just stating here as an example. I know it's a sidechain. It's not native to the Bitcoin network. It's just a sidechain that kind of glues together with the Bitcoin network. So not native, it's just an add-on. It's another blockchain. So just check out. It's pretty smart, actually. So in Zilliqa, we have Scylla, which is the smart contract development for Zilliqa. And then we have the Pluto's platform for the Cardano. Cardano has two languages that I know of. One of them is Pluto's. And yeah, just standard smart contract stuff. We've got the Cosmos SDK. The difference here is, in the case of Cosmos, each application will be a custom blockchain. So in Cosmos, when somebody is building a dApp, that person is also building a whole blockchain altogether. And they encourage people to connect to other Cosmos blockchains so that they can talk to each other. It's pretty unnecessary sometimes, because I don't, as a developer, as a program developer, as an application developer, I shouldn't be concerned with having a blockchain of my own. I'm mixing, when I use Cosmos, I'm mixing the creation of a new blockchain with the creation of an application. So it's kind of cumbersome. Ethereum is much better because I can just develop the smart contract. I don't have to be worried about creating a whole new blockchain if I don't need it. So this is kind of the path that Cosmos is going to. It's the multiplication of blockchains, many times just in an unnecessary way, because application developers don't want to deal with the underlying blockchain details. They just want the interface, a place to put their smart contracts, and having people using it. In that case, Ethereum is much better. But Cosmos' selling point is that people can use Cosmos SDK to provide interoperability with other blockchains. So it's still cumbersome, because Nervos network, you could have a different blockchain, which we call a sidechain. We could have an extra blockchain to develop the apps on top of it, and then using the layer 1 from Nervos to be the trust settlement, the very secure layer 1. But we don't need to provide a different blockchain to our applications if we don't want to. So Nervos it's much more elegant, in my opinion. This is why I'm a Nervos holder and not a WASM holder. So yeah, this is for Nervos and Cosmos. In Solana, we have actually a good design. They've provided language that's built on top of Berkeley Packet Filter, which is a standard borrowed from the Linux operating system design. So they've borrowed this layer for running programs, and then in the case of Solana, you could actually use any programming language to have your smart contract on top of Solana network. It's pretty elegant. What I don't like in Solana is that they have too many few validators right now, and they are proof of stake. I've heard a person saying today that he would never be a staker in the Binance Smart Chain because it's already taken over by huge stakers. So as I said in the last video, I didn't even know that this was happening already. In the case of proof of stake network, the first ones that amasses the biggest part of the tokens of the network will be in a comfortable position. So they will be the rich asses, and it will be much more of an oligarchy than a decentralized staking experience. But this has a cost, as we saw in the last video. When you're staking on a proof of stake network, even if you have the highest amount of tokens, you are just you'll just not make as much money as if you could make if you go to proof of work. So I guess we'll always have that debate, and the people who actually thinks that one of the philosophies will be taken over by the other one, proof of stake versus proof of work versus proof of history. None of these blockchains can't be taken down. So these are decentralized blockchains, and even Solana will have many more validators over time. So people should just think which kind of economics they prefer. So I prefer proof of work because miners have work to do. They can't just stake their tokens and be in a comfortable position. But we've already gone through that. So Solana is proof of stake, so I wouldn't go into that. I wouldn't go and invest in Solana. But they've got a pretty nice model. Yeah, they've decided to create an abstraction for interpreting smart contracts, and you could use just any programming language that you know that can be compiled to this BPF backend. So it's very intelligent. So right now they've got support for Rust and C and C++. But I guess they will add other languages. It's a good model, a good example. So in Binance Smart Chain, we also have a very nice example. They support Go, Java, JavaScript, C++, C Sharp, Python, and Swift, which is a language from Apple's development, Apple application development. So, but then Binance Smart Chain can't stake in that and find a good return because the biggest stakers are already in the chain. So the chain has been taken over. Yeah, so the end result is currently many blockchains are locking programmers in steep learning curves, and current most common practices carries serious security breaches that's facilitated over hundreds of millions in DeFi hacks, because most of the blockchains are going to implement this account model here, and then on Ethereum, on Cardano and Nervos, we've got the UTXO. And because Cardano and Nervos both have UTXO models for smart contracts, they decided to partner together to really do research on smart contract security. So pretty prosperous partnership for both sides, right? I don't know if I told you already that. I guess I told that in other videos, but Cardano is actually I guess it's a pretty reliable network to invest because Charles Hoskinson is filthy rich, and he's not going anywhere. So Cardano network has plenty of money to keep investing in the research. So it's actually a good network to be invested in. I don't go there because it's proof of stake. I'm not a fan of it because of the network takeover effect. So this is the end result. And another end result here is that many blockchains are creating different programming models. So when a developer goes to the blockchain world itself, it has to do a thorough research. Most developers will actually stop into the Solidity programming model, which is the simpler one, and they will stay there. Yeah, it's a good programming model actually, although it's not as safe as the UTXO model. And this is a pretty big concern because we are dealing with money, right? So steep learning curves, sometimes the simpler is the worst because of the security breaches. And yeah, this is our current scenario. So how does Nervos Network provide tools for the developers? So first of all, Nervos Network has this thing called the CKBVM, which is an interpretation layer for smart contracts. And CKBVM, it actually is the smartest thing I've seen in the whole blockchain space. It's just the implementation of a RISC-V standard for processors. So what that means is this Nervos CKBVM behaves exactly like a general CPU. So it's a general CPU. You could actually compile just anything in any language. You compile that for the RISC-V instruction set, and you should be good. Your application should run on CKBVM. It's so general and so flexible. This RISC-V standard is being on the marketplace for decades, and it hasn't changed that much. So it's very solid, it's very flexible, it's very resilient. We have tons of innovations going on, and the RISC-V instruction set is there, and it keeps like sustaining many of the IT infrastructures that we see today. So very clever decision from the Nervos team implementing the CKBVM. It's fast, it's simple, it's flexible, and it allows any language and any other VM to be built on top of CKBVM. So because of that, Nervos team is bringing a Solidity compatible layer to the CKBVM. So I still haven't gone into much details on how would that work, but we will have an EVM compatible layer, just as Binance Smart Chain has done, so that we could have developers bringing their programs and those applications from the Ethereum network to reside on top of Nervos blockchain. So the next question is, why would a developer do that? They will do that because Nervos blockchain allows the developer to reach users in any other blockchain. So this is the goal, right? So any VM, any of the VMs we've seen here, any of the programming models can be built on top of Nervos. We could support the Cardano language, could support the Cosmos SDK, we could support Scylla, we could support Stacks, we could do an implementation from any of those languages. Even Solana's design, we can build a Berkeley packet filter layer on top of CKBVM, so it's the smartest decision of all. Nervos team kicks ass, right? So yeah, any VM, virtual machine, can be implemented on top of Nervos blockchain. What that means is any innovation that's created in the blockchain space can be supported and ported to the Nervos blockchain. So you've got two big leverages here. One of them is Nervos blockchain allows users to reach any other users in any blockchain. The second one, any blockchain language can be ported to the Nervos blockchain. And then we have the fact that the Nervos blockchain, these things kind of stack together because Nervos blockchain has the most secure layer 1, which is an improved version of the Bitcoin protocol. Nervos team has a very general VM which supports just like any language that could be invented in the future. Nervos network allows developers to reach any user in any blockchain. And Nervos network has solved the scalability problem. When we see things here on these numbers on the Solana network, 15 billion transactions processed and everything. Well, these comes with a cost on security. These come with a cost in security. So it's amazing that the Nervos team could actually create a layer 1, which is the highest security design possible, which has the highest security design possible, and actually allow limitless scalability on layer 2. It's limited only by your capacity of buying CPU power. So yeah, limitless scalability, limitless blockchain reach, limitless programming models. I'm in. I'm a 100% in. So Nervos Network uses the cell model, which is, it brings a huge amount of flexibility, because in the cell model, you could have, for example, the cell model states that each user owns a certain number of cells, and those cells, they live in Nervos blockchain, and it can hold a certain type of information. One kind of information is your own CKB balance. So you could have a cell with your CKB balance. And in order to have that cell in Nervos blockchain, you have to have at least 62 CKBs so that your cell can be created. So you are allowed to occupy the Nervos blockchain space with at least 62 CKBs. When you hold CKB and you only have that, what you're doing is you reserve a cell in the network, you lock 62 CKBs to have that cell created, and on that cell, you have your CKB balance. If you have 10,000 CKBs, for example, 62 of those 10,000 CKBs are used to reserve the Nervos blockchain storage space. So another type of cell could be a cell for a user-defined token, like Tether, Cardano, Ethereum, Tron, Doge, Bitcoin. You could bring an asset from another blockchain and then use 150 CKBs to create that cell and store your balance for that asset in another blockchain. So this is another kind of cell that you could create. And there's a third kind of cell that you can create, which is code, just code for smart contracts. So a programmer could store code in the network by creating a cell and using a certain amount of CKBs to allocate the space in Nervos blockchain for that program to reside in it. And as the users have to use CKBs to be allowed to store information, token balances or code in the blockchain, we have responsible use from state storage, which is the disks, the hardware cost for the miners. So pretty extraordinary, in my opinion. It's a great, big, huge amount of value added in one blockchain only. So any blockchain, any programming language can be used for running smart contracts and apps on top of Nervos blockchain. You could have separate blockchains, but you're not obligated to do that. So you could just write a simple app that uses and transacts directly into the layer 1 without the need to scale on the layer 2 if you don't need to. Nervos Network will allow you to do just any kind of design that you want to use. So, and then on top of that, we got the Nervos user-defined token specifications, which are extensible and flexible beyond our imagination. So Nervos team has designed an XUDT specification, which is called the Extended User-Defined Tokens. So the XUDT specification allows a programmer to create a behavior, a kind of behavior that could be plugged into any tokens in the network. So as time goes by, what we will have in Nervos Blockchain is programmers creating different kinds and classes of behaviors for tokens, and other users creating tokens and borrowing those behaviors. So the amount of interactions and creativity and innovation that can be brought on Nervos Network, it's just outstanding. It's just outstanding. And the team and the users who know that, we are amazed by it and trying to kind of guess which kind of things are going to come to Nervos Blockchain in the future. So anything that's invented in the blockchain space can be brought to the Nervos Blockchain. Even if we have good models like scalable layer 2 solutions, we could have those layer 2 solutions using Nervos Blockchain as a preferred and secure layer 1 that provides a Bitcoin kind of security model. So it's huge, because when we see so many layer 2 blockchains kind of thing, like Solana, Binance Smart Chain, really Cardano also, because proof of stake are kind of less secure. They say they are working on that. It's just too hard to. It's too hard to win this game. So Nervos Network tends to be positioned as a preferred layer 1 who provides a Bitcoin grade security to any other blockchains in the space. If there is a network that's like 100 million transactions per second, they could use Nervos Network to just create a security endpoint for all those transactions. The developers in those blockchains, they know they are giving up some security, some level of security, at some points a high level of security. They know they're giving up security. So they could actually use Nervos Blockchain to create more security for those transactions. So it's huge value together in one blockchain only. So if those things can add up and stack so many value for developers, imagine for the whole blockchain system ecosystem. I'm not talking only about Nervos Blockchain. I'm talking about the whole blockchain space. I mean, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polkadot, Cosmos, Tron, everybody could potentially be using Nervos Network for so many different things. It's very versatile, very flexible, very resilient, hugely innovative network, and it's so inclusive. It doesn't aim to disrupt and get other blockchains offline. It just kind of tries to aggregate value for every other blockchains. And this is why they've chosen the name Nervos. So it could be like a nerve system to the whole blockchain space. So this is what they are trying to do when they tell that they are trying to create a internet-like blockchain experience. So everybody in the blockchain space could, they don't have to, but they could use Nervos Blockchain to do all kinds of things. So yeah, this is it. The end result is Nervos Network programming is wide open, as any programming language or model can be used by any blockchain users or programmers or platforms, really. So this is it. We've got the 8 blockchain killers covered by the Nervos investors series. This first masterclass series, it's complete. You got excellent developer experience done in the Nervos blockchain. So yes, hold your nervos, my friend. Hold your CKBs. You can buy it at Binance, at Huobi, at Bithumb, Voyager, ClearSwap soon. They are launching a decentralized exchange. And Voyager in India is also trading CKB. Crypto.com also trades CKB. Gate.io also trades CKBs. You could buy it at any of those exchanges, right? So come and chat with us. If you want to shoot me a message, you can just subscribe to this channel or press the like button, and yeah, write your message right below this video, shoot a comment, or come to the Telegram channels. The official one is Nervos Network, and the community one is Nervos Unofficial, right? So this is it. In the next videos, we will start going deep into the Nervos features and tools. So yeah, let's focus on Nervos blockchain. Not only on the problems in the blockchain space, but in the nitty-gritty details for the Nervos blockchain. It was an amazing experience to have you here. Bye-bye.